And hello, YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of The Zone TV Movie Entertainment with me, your host, Jonathan, once again bringing you my thoughts and review for the 2017 retelling of Beauty and the Beast. That's right, starring Emma Watson and Dan Stevens, who was actually in Legion. Very cool show, by the way. So this movie is basically based off the 1991 animated Disney movie Beauty and the Beast. You know, tales old as time, song as old as rhyme. You know that story. I want to start by saying, didn't expect what this movie was gonna be, like how this movie turned out. I thought this movie was gonna be like a straight adaptation of the animated movie with a couple things here and there changed, new music or whatever. But they took this movie and kind of they took the animated movie and kind of stretched it as much as they could to make an even cooler movie. Not as great as the original animated movie, but it makes the animated movie a lot more sense now by way that they tell the origin story of how the curse happened and all of that stuff, and of course how Gaston becomes who he is, obviously. And I'm like, wow, like now that makes the animated movie a lot more sense. I'm like, because if you watch the animated movie, you'll probably have questions about certain things in that animated movie. They explain it here, and then you go back and watch the animated movie, and you go, now it makes sense in a cool way. So it just makes the animated movie 10 times better. This movie is actually pretty awesome. Let's talk about Belle. Belle, played by Emma Watson. A lot of people thought, she's not gonna sing good. Probably gonna have something. No, she sang pretty well. I enjoyed her singing. It felt like she was singing on a Broadway play, but that was fine to me. I mean, most of the music felt like it came right out of the Broadway play instead of the animated movie. It didn't have that depth to it. But the Broadway play is still good for what it is, because that's a totally different situation than the animated movie. Is completely different. So I enjoyed that part. Luke Evans as Gaston was brilliant. He was awesome in so many different ways. He had so many different layers to him too. I mean, in the cartoon, he's basically an arrogant douchebag who just wants to be with Belle, and he doesn't get the hint. In this one, you see him. He's strong. He's basically independent. He really, obviously he loves Belle, but there's certain things in here that kind of make him become a douchebag that you never even thought about, because it's great. It's just great. I just gotta admit that. And the whole thing where people saying, oh, LeFou is gay, I'm not seeing this. Relax. He's awesome. I think LeFou was my favorite part of this entire movie. He was just great in the movie. The way he, you can tell he's in love with Gaston, but the way he acts with him and the way Gaston treats him is brilliant. And I'm like, that's cool to me. I mean, that's awesome. To put a character like that and change his sexual kind of thing is very cool. So I enjoyed his parts. Those were good. Belle's father was great. Okay, so let's talk about the Beast. The Beast was good as well. I enjoyed him. He sounded just like, the animated movie. He moved like the animated did. He was great. I enjoy Dan Stevens' performance. Some of the CG with the Beast was here and there. I mean, some shot, especially far away distance, you can tell is really bad CG. But when it gets up close, it doesn't really didn't bother me too much. I enjoyed that, so that was good. Obviously LeFou and Cogsworth, brilliant. They were brilliant. Those two were great. They were just it was just like taking the animated movie, taking those two characters out of the animated movie and bringing them into this live action thing, just painting them different colors. They worked brilliantly. Everybody who, Mrs. Potts, Chip, they all worked. They were good. I mean, people must have been like, oh, Chip doesn't look the right. He was fine. You'll get used to his face. I mean, obviously his face was more CG than anybody else's. I think everybody else maybe could be motion capture. But him and Mrs. Chip, I think, were CG. Not too sure about that, but they were fine. I enjoyed it. They were great. Like I said, the music was good. Obviously, the music has always been good. Wasn't exactly like how the original one first, got into your heart and like you memorize it, but it was still fun. I enjoyed it. I mean, a lot of the songs were for the animated movie, and then they brought some songs into like the new ones. But you know what? I'll talk about that in my negatives because that's actually part of the negatives. But yeah, the songs worked for me. It felt good. They didn't feel like they just smashed into, into the movie and made it look like, took us out of the how we loved the original and how we always sang to the original songs. That was cool. Um, so let's talk about some negatives here. Negatives, I will have to say, is some of the songs in here didn't feel like, oh, they're so memorable that I'm gonna, sing outside after I see the movie. The new songs. I mean, they were fine, but they're not exactly catchy. If you want to put it that way. I mean, some people might think it's catchy. That's cool. But for me, I felt like, yeah, sure, they were cool. I probably don't remember one lyric from it. I mean, I can sing Belle's song, from the beginning, obviously, that she sings in the cartoon. I can sing Gaston's song. Gaston's song was awesome, by the way. They stretched it out a little bit more, add some more lyrics to it, but yeah, it was so fun. Other thing I didn't like about it, I felt like certain scenes could have been, with the CG, could have been touched a little bit better here and there. But other than that, that was my biggest negative in this movie was some of the music didn't really hit with me. So other than that, it was fine. Yeah. Man, I want to talk about the freaking how this movie actually has a plot twist to this movie. I mean, even I didn't see it coming because honestly, I was like, wow, that's totally different from the animated movie. Like, complete different. But, yeah, that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it how they mentioned certain things about the curse, about Belle's mother. They actually mentioned Belle's mother here. That's not much of a spoiler, but still. I mean, she's not in the animated movie, but they do mention her here. So, spoiler if we're gonna care about that. Sorry, but it's not really a spoiler. But yeah, they touched on that. That was cool. The castle. The castle looked great. I mean, in the animated movie, it looked creepy. Obviously, with all that, the darkness and stuff. But in this movie, it makes it look like Dracula's castle, but 10 times worse. But I'm telling you, when you see it, you're gonna be like, dang, this castle's crazy. It was great. I mean, everybody in this movie was great. I mean, obviously, Ian McGregor was, I think, Lumiere. He was great. I loved his character. Cogsworth was brilliant. Mrs. Potts, obviously, was good. Dan Stevens as the Beast was great. Gaston, Luke Evans, like I said, they were all great. Everybody worked in this movie. I mean, like I said, I think they kind of focused on the music a lot more, like towards the Broadway play than the animated movie, because some of the songs felt like they came out of the animated movie. Not I mean the Broadway show, more than the animated movie. Because in the animated movie, they have some depth to them. All the songs had some depth to them and meaning and purpose. Here, it had purpose. Yes, I get it, but I just wish it had a little bit more oomph to them. A little more kick. More like, yeah, you're gonna be dancing in your chair, like kind of thing. Like you've seen them, and then you're like watching it, and you're like, it works, but I like the animated version better. With the whole music part. But other than that, I still enjoyed it. I still like this movie a lot. What else can I talk about? Like I said, Belle worked. She was great, obviously. Emma Watson was great in the movie. If you were worried about her singing, don't worry about that because she was great. But yeah, go check this movie out. This movie's a lot of fun. And bring back some memories of the original movie if you haven't seen it that long. But yeah, you're going to have a lot of fun with this. I am going to say, I'm going to give this movie an 80% out of 100. I really like this movie a lot. It's still it's not my favorite live action adaptation. Obviously Cinderella's still my favorite, but this is technically third for me behind Jungle Book. But it was great. I was so happy about this movie because they didn't just make it like, yeah, here's the Beast, here's Belle, boom, boom, and try to make a grand copy of the animated movie, because who needs that? I mean, we have the animated movie. But yeah, this movie was great. I enjoyed it a lot. Had a lot of fun with it. Minus a couple things here and there they couldn't touch up upon, but whatever. That was fine. But, you know, things here they can improve. I mean, I wish they could make a sequel to this, but I don't know. They're not going to make one because the other one kind of went to direct-to-DVD. It's actually my favorite Beauty and the Beast adaptation besides the first one, but yeah. But who knows? But yeah, I still enjoyed it, so give it a shot. Go check it out this weekend if you can. And also, leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys thought. And if you guys are not getting my videos up online, so just click that little bell when you want to get a notification. My videos will pop up. So leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about Beauty and the Beast. If you've seen it, and what do you like better, the movie, the live-action movie, or the animated movie? For me, still the animated movie, but yeah, this movie's great. Go check it out, and thank you, and have a good day.